our investigators, have diligently concluded investigations in the following cases: the SkyTrain, National Service Ghost Name Scandal, District Road Improvement Project, or DRIP, National Lotteries, Palgo Multipurpose Dam, SML, Frontier Healthcare Services, Free Wi-Fi, National Ambulance, Boankra Integrated Inland Logistics Terminal, Sputnik V vaccines case, and the land looting cases. In the case of the land looting cases, 8 have been completed, and then 1 is outstanding. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a sense of what pertains. When the dockets are brought to my office, and the latest set of dockets were brought 2 weeks ago, I go through them diligently with the prosecution staff, the attorneys in the prosecution division, and other lawyers we work with, and then we can build a case and advise the investigators as to what to do when we find loopholes that may be exploited by defense attorneys. So I want to give 2 examples. In the case of the Boankra Integrated Inland Logistics Terminal, the report has been returned to my office. We have done our reading of the report and analysis of it, and we've come to the conclusion that there is a need for us to have a value for money audit, because that is the only way by which we'll determine the extent to which there was malfeasance relating to the finances of the project. But so far, nothing has been discovered that should, cause us to take action in court in terms of criminality. I'll give another example. The District Road Improvement Project, which is DRIP. We did the investigation. The preliminary report was returned to my office. I studied it. I gave directions as to what to do. And the investigators have gone back to do went back to do their work. And they came back with a report that I can tell you has, pinpointed certain acts of malfeasance that we are working on. So, for instance, in the case of DRIP, they were overpaid. That is, JA Plant Pool was overpaid by $2 million. The contract sum was 176 million United States of American dollars. On the face of the contract, that is the sum that was stated. When we examined the invoices of payments, it was 178 million that was paid. So right away, there was a difference of $2 million. So we asked that $2 million be paid back by JA Plant Pool. We also realized that 190 pieces of equipment were added and cleared without payment of tax. In other words, they were added to the list as if they were tax exempt. I asked the investigators to go back, look at the HS code, and for those of you, HS code is a harmonized code that the customs officers use to determine the classification and taxes applicable to goods. When they did the analysis following the HS code, it came out that 38.7 million Ghana cedis of taxes were evaded. So in respect of the 2 sums, that is the $2 million, JFH Plant Pool has been asked, we have made a demand on them to pay that money. Then when it comes to the taxes, we have asked GRA, because under the tax laws, it is GRA that can make a demand for the payment of the taxes. So we've asked that GRA should make a demand for the 38.7 million. Now that is our investigators' assessment. GRA may come out with a different figure because they are the tax experts. So our investigators' figure may be confirmed or even adjusted upwards depending on what the GRA says. Now, when it comes to the issue of over-invoicing, we noticed that they were over-invoiced by between, that is the equipment, the DRIP equipment were over-invoiced by between 100 to 300%. All right, so I give you an example. One piece of equipment which costs $40,000, the government paid $84,000 for that equipment. That is over 110%. And so we are now diligently looking through all the equipment. And you can imagine that the equipment for all the districts, you know, there were, hundreds of pieces of equipment. So we are going through each one of them because we are looking at a criminal investigation. And in criminal law, charges must be specific. If you miss the element of specificity, your case will be thrown out. And that is why I keep urging Ghanaians to be patient, because we need diligent investigation so that when I send a case to court, we don't have any doubt that criminality has occurred. So, ladies and gentlemen, prosecutions have commenced in the SkyTrain and National Service scandals. In the case of the latter, we have filed charges against the former Chief Executive, Executive Director, Osei Sibe Ntwi, and his deputy, Gifty Owari. Charges are being prepared against the rest of the public officers and the so-called marketplace vendors. In all, we intend to file about 10 cases in the NSA scandal and will use some of the public officers and vendors as prosecution witnesses. Now, this is a strategy that is working very well for us, and we intend to continue to use that strategy. In a situation where there is a small criminal among big criminals, and the small criminal knows a lot, it is better as a matter of prosecutorial strategy to use a small criminal to get the information in order to be able to succeed, and that is what I'm doing. Also, I wish to announce that the Auditor General has conducted a forensic audit into the NSA, the National Service scandal, and the total amount of money stolen or illegally spent now stands at 2.2 billion, and not the 548 million that was uncovered by my investigators as at June 2025. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I have here a copy of the Auditor General's report. Again, painstaking investigation is very important in criminal matters. And so, based upon what the Auditor General has done, and this is a forensic audit, okay? Forensic audit means that they've gone beyond what ordinary, auditing would have done. And so, we are going to, based upon this, in some cases, change the charge, amend our charge sheets in order to bring fresh charges. Investigations are still ongoing in respect of the following matters: All African Games, mathematical sets, Bank of Ghana new building, stadia renovation, and National Cathedral. In the case of the National Cathedral, we have actually requested that the Auditor General should conduct another forensic audit, and he's being held by one of the big four accounting companies to be able to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the rumble in the jungle. The buffer stock investigation, which are nicknamed the rumble in the jungle, as at March 2020, when we announced the arrest and detention of suspects Kobna Iduboahin and his wife Angela Ejie Boateng, the Economic and Organized Crime Office had gathered credible intelligence regarding a criminal enterprise that had been operated by the former Chief Executive Officer of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company Limited, Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab. Initial estimates put the amount of money pilfered by Mr. Abdul Wahab and his collaborators at the time at around 58 million Ghana cedis, far in excess of the 49 million suspected to have been stolen by Mr. Iduboahin and his co-accused persons. I call the criminal enterprise operated by Abdul Wahab and his collaborators at Buffer Stock the rumble in the jungle, not only because of the huge amount of money at stake, but because of the fact that while food suppliers were wailing and gnashing their teeth due to failure to pay them for supplies to the Buffer Stock, and while our school kids were being denied nutrition under the school feeding program for lack of funds, Mr. Abdul Wahab and his collaborators were busy lawlessly looting funds meant for the program. That is jungle behavior. The informal meaning of the word rumble is to discover illicit activity or the perpetrator of the illicit activity. Through painstaking investigations, the EOCO discovered this illicit criminal enterprise run by a gang of corrupt, lawless officials at the Buffer Stock Company. On June 25, 2025, the EOCO conducted a coordinated operation based upon their initial investigations, which resulted in the arrest of Mr. Abdul Wahab, former Chief Executive of Buffer Stock, his wife Faiza Seydou Wuni, and then James Atieku, the buffer stock manager for the northern sector, who was based in Tamale. The operation also led to the arrest of Emmanuel Atta, head of corporate affairs of NAFCO. The arrest followed initial intelligence and assessment by EOCO, who suggested that while serving as CEO of Buffer Stock between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Abdul Wahab colluded with his wife, Faiza Seydou Wuni, Richard Sam, head of finance, Bismarck Ousu Boache, finance department, and Emmanuel Atta, corporate affairs manager, and others to create an elaborate criminal enterprise that was used to steal and launder public funds from the Buffer Stock Company. Within the period between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Abdul Wahab, in concert with Richard Sam Asante and Bismarck Ousu Boache, orchestrated the transfer of 78,269,084 Ghana cedis and 4 pesos from the bank accounts of Buffer Stock Company to a private company linked to Hanan Abdul Wahab, his wife, and staff of Buffer Stock at Republic Bank and EcoBank. Evidence shows that the funds were instantly retransferred to companies owned by Abdul Wahab himself, and companies and entities owned and associated with him and his wife. Similarly, evidence shows that between 2017 and May 2029, Abdul Wahab, sorry, can I have? Let me take that again. Similarly, evidence shows that between December 2017 and May 2019, Hanan Abdul Wahab transferred 5,495,780 Ghana cedis and 36 pesos from Buffer Stock Company accounts to 2 bank accounts belonging to Aludiba Enterprise, one of his companies, at Republic Bank and ABSA. Aludiba Enterprise is not a registered supplier of Buffer Stock Company. Hanan Abdul Wahab, between 2019 to January 2022, also orchestrated some suppliers to transfer an amount of 11,998,830 Ghana cedis, 48 pesos, to an entity owned by a staff of Buffer Stock, and later instructed the staff to retransfer the funds to a company owned and run by himself and his wife. In July 2022, investigations found that Hanan Abdul Wahab transferred 251,050 cedis from Buffer Stock accounts to another bank account at Republic Bank belonging to Energy Partners, a company co-owned by Hanan Abdul Wahab and Emmanuel Atta, the head of corporate affairs of Buffer Stock Company. Energy Partners is not a service provider for Buffer Stock. The evidence gathered so far shows that they run this criminal enterprise under the pretext of supplying food items to schools under the school feeding program. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 entities linked to Abdul Wahab and his wife were used as vehicles to receive and to launder the proceeds of crime from Buffer Stock Company. The money laundering took the form of property acquisitions across the country, including real estate and luxury goods using the same entities. The entities in question are as follows: Alkani Enterprise, Aludiba Enterprise, Energy Partners, Farhauser Ventures, Farhauser Company Limited, and Aludiba Foundation, and also, and more importantly, Sortina Enterprise, owned by a third party connected to the couple. So Sortina was owned by Atieku Apau, who was then the Northern Sector manager of Buffer Stock. Bank documents obtained by EOCO revealed that within the period that the suspects operated this criminal enterprise, Mr. Abdul Wahab and his wife and their entities became the largest depositors at Republic Bank, and the branch was at Labone branch. Investigations established that in 2018, Sortina Enterprise, an entity owned by James Atieku Apau, applied to become a licensed supplier to the Buffer Stock Company. This application was approved by his boss, Hanan Abdul Wahab, knowing very well that the approval placed James Atieku Apau in a conflict of interest situation because he was the manager of Buffer Stock in the northern sector. He formed a company and became a supplier to Buffer Stock. So on account of that alone, I can succeed on a charge of using public office for profit. Documentary evidence from bank accounts of Buffer Stock revealed that between 2018 and 2024, Buffer Stock transferred a total of 78,369,082 cedis and 4 pesos to Sortina Enterprises bank account at EcoBank and Republic Bank, respectively. The payment was supposedly to pay for food supplies made by Sortina to schools under the school feeding program. Verified records, including way bills and store receipt vouchers from Buffer Stock, however, indicated that only 27,389,872 cedis out of the payments to Sortina were backed by supplies. There is no evidence whatsoever that the remaining 50,879,021 cedis and 4 pesos paid to the enterprise was backed by food supplies or any service rendered to Buffer Stock. A review of Sortina bank account revealed that the bulk of the payments which Buffer Stock made to Sortina Enterprises bank accounts, about 98% of the over 78 million, were instantly retransferred to Alkani Enterprise, Fahauza Ventures, and other entities owned and controlled by or affiliated to Hanan Abdul Wahab and Faiza Seidu Wuni, his wife. Under interrogation, Mr. Atieku Apau stated that although some of the funds received into Sortina's EcoBank and Republic Bank accounts were for the few genuine supplies backed by way bills and store receipt vouchers, in most instances, no supplies were made, but he noticed that Buffer Stock kept making payments to his company, Sortina Enterprise. He also admitted that other third-party companies, which our investigations have established to be license buying companies or suppliers to Buffer Stock, also made several payments into Sortina's account. He said he neither knew the promoters of these companies, nor did his company have any business dealing with them. He had no explanation as to why millions were transferred into his company's bank account, but observed that those payments, whether from Buffer Stock or from third parties, were made into Sortina's account on the instruction of his boss, Hanan Abdul Wahab. He further explained that whenever such payments were deposited in Sortina's account, he was prompted by Hanan Abdul Wahab to expect the transfer and was later instructed on where to move or retransfer the funds. In effect, Sortina became a conduit for Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife to steal Buffer Stock funds without easy detection. Transaction analysis of Sortina's Republic Bank account and entities used as vehicle to launder the proceeds of the criminal enterprise established by Hanan and his wife corroborated the claims made by Mr. James Atieku Apau. For example, a review of some of the retransfers of the funds paid to Sortina Enterprise by Buffer Stock Company revealed as follows. From Sortina Enterprise to Hanan Abdul Wahab, 60,179,137 Ghana cedis. Sortina Enterprise to Alkani, 23,913,964 Ghana cedis and 90 pesos. From Sortina Enterprise to Fahauza, 500,000 Ghana cedis. Sortina Enterprise to Chain Homes, 550,000, making a total of transfers that we've tracked, from across the bank accounts of 40,493,102 Ghana cedis and 15 pesos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I've indicated, the proceeds of crime were used by the couple to acquire a lot of high-end luxury properties and, especially real estate across the country. Now, as is typical of all investigations conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, contemporaneous tracing of the proceeds of crime has been undertaken, and we can confirm that the couple purchased a number of high-end real estate properties from their ill-gotten wealth. The properties are as follows. 1, a 5-bedroom house bought from Chain Homes Limited between February 2019 and December 2020 at a cost of $1,625,000. Of this amount, $5,758,165 Ghana cedis, that is the equivalent of 230,841 United States of American dollars, was paid directly from the accounts of the investigated entities. The balance was paid in cash to Chain Homes by the couple. Now, in criminal investigations, when large cash sums are being used to pay, that is prima facie evidence of money laundering. In July 2020, the couple purchased a 3-bedroom house at Cantonments from Golden Coast Developers Limited at a cost of 600,000 United States of American dollars, using two of their companies, Fahauser Ventures, owned by the wife, and Fahauser Company Limited, owned jointly by the couple. The land documents were, however, registered in the name of their wife. Between October 2019 and February 2021, the couple purchased plots at Fanalis Airport Development Site for 750,000 United States of American dollars. The total payments were made in cash in the name of Faisal Seydou Wuni. We have the cash, receipts from the developer. Subsequently, in July 2021, Faisal Seydou Wuni signed a contract with a construction company, Mendeha and Souza Construction Limited, at a cost of 691,650 United States of American dollars to construct the shell and the core of the building. This excludes the cost of architectural designs from Ansara Architecture Pty Limited, based in South Africa. The building sitting on 3 plots is now estimated to be valued at $2,500,000 United States of American dollars. The couple also purchased 0.32 acres of government land from one Anthony Duke Essien, a known government land sales agent named in both the demolition of the Nigerian High Commission and the sale and demolition of the Bulgarian consulate. Duke Essien used his sister, Antoinette Chibodaku, a staff of the Dankwa Institute, as a front to purchase from the Ministry of Lands and the Ministry of Lands and the Lands Commission at a price of 307,200 Ghana cedis. Duke Essien then instantly sold the land to Hanan Abdul Wahab and received about 2,567,000 Ghana cedis. The payment came from the criminal proceeds from buffer stock through Sortina Enterprise and through Alkani and Anan himself to Anthony Duke Essien. On the instruction of his brother, Duke Essien, Antoinette then wrote to the Lands Commission in March 2020 to instruct them that the lease should be in the name of Hanan Abdul Wahab. In May 2020, she made a U-turn and wrote to the Lands Commission to withdraw the documents bearing the name of Hanan Abdul Wahab and now replaced it with the name of the wife, Faisal Seydou Wuni. The couple developed 4 units of 4-bedroom apartments on the said land. The property is yet to be valued by our investigators. Now, ladies and gentlemen, other properties acquired by the couple are as follows. A 17-bedroom boutique hotel at Gumani in Tamale, in respect of which the couple used Fahauser Company Limited to sign a franchise with Villa Monticello for the price of $250,000. In other words, $250,000. So they wanted Villa Monticello to run it as if it is a Villa Monticello hotel. So they paid $250,000 to Villa Monticello, in order to hide the identity of the hotel. But we've been able to dig in, and we've gotten all the evidence, including all the receipts from Villa Monticello. There is a 4-bedroom bungalow situated at Jolo, Accra, valued at 4.1 million cedis. 3-story building, that is Chicken Republic, the Chicken Republic building in Tamale, situated at Estate Junction, Tamale. 5-bedroom mansion at Canville, Dorado Street, Tamale. 3-bedroom house, Palissy, Tamale. 1-story building, number 10 Selby Gardens, Achimota, Accra. Then a 0.27 acre plot of land, Estate Junction, Tamale. 0.29 acre of land, close to Workers College, Tamale. We have also frozen all these assets and will be taking steps to have them confiscated to the state in the course of the criminal proceedings. We have no doubt in our minds that these properties were bought from the proceeds of crime. When interrogated, Faiza Wuni, the wife of Anan, said she was a housewife being paid 5,000 Ghana cedis a month by the husband. So that is the legitimate income that we know. We have also taken note of the legitimate earnings of Hanan Abdul Wahab when he was appointed. His initial salary from 2017 was 14,000 Ghana cedis, a little about 14,000. Earning this amount of money at chain homes? That is a question not for the gods, but for us as citizens to be able to answer, and answer very well through the accountability process. And that is
Ladies and gentlemen, please get ready as we welcome His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, who has just arrived at the fairgrounds. Shortly, he will be entering the auditorium. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, who has just arrived at the fairgrounds. Shortly, he will be entering the auditorium. Let the President know that we are excited about this fair, and we are all ready to contribute to the first ever John Dramani know that we are about this fair as he walks, all ready to contribute to the first ever Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair whose vision continues to inspire progress. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, and today he's here is a leader whose vision continues to inspire progress and transformation, and today he's joining us at the opening of this maiden edition of the Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. Thank you, Your Excellency, and welcome. We'll invite multiple award-winning musician and songstress Efia Awendo to give us the national anthem. Please rise to your feet.
God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of rights. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressor's rule with all our will and might forevermore, and help us to resist oppressor's rule with all our will and might forevermore.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, please take your seats. Your Excellency, the President Kushina, Tinyelana, Obake, Mohe, Akwaba, Miawezo, Nana Hema will introduce our chairperson for this occasion.
Can we have clearance with the media, please? Your Excellency, Honorable Ministers, government officials, agencies in the transport space, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Your Excellency, you're most welcome. We are very happy that you're here. Our chairman for today is very well known to us in Ghana. He's our favorite chief, and everything put together in one human being God has dashed us in Ghana. Togbe Afede is the Agbogomefia of Asogli State in the Volta region of Ghana, and one of the nation's most respected traditional leaders, economic statesmen. He is the former president of the National House of Chiefs, former president of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, and a former member of the Council of States. A distinguished public servant, Togbe Afede has contributed to national development through multiple high-level advisory and governance roles. Notably, he was appointed head of the interim management team of the Ministry of Finance at the onset of the late President John Evans Atta Mills administration, a definition moment during a critical economic transition. He went on to serve as a member of President Mills' Economic Advisory Council and has been a board member for several leading national and international institutions, including the Bank of Ghana. National Investment Bank, and the World Trade Centers Association in New York, and other organizations worldwide. Professionally, Togbe Apede is an accomplished investment banker and private equity investor with decades of experience in the debt and equity capital markets. He has been instrumental in pioneering transformative investment vehicles and landmark capital projects across Ghana.
To the U.S. on the request of the Justice Department of the United States. The Justice Department actually sent me what they call the bill of indictment. Right, that's the charge. Those are the charges.
Spanning energy, financial services, aviation, real estate, and infrastructure. Togbe Apede embodies a rare fusion of traditional.
The syndicate of criminals that included, Kojo Boateng. The OSP and his office, I respect his office. So the formal processes have started. Then be able to determine to what use they will be put by the Republic.
Transport, Distinguished Minister of Tourism, other ministers that are with us here, members of the world.
Hello, my name is Nana Kwesi. I'm a presenter. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and as part of the celebrations, Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM, in partnership with some key stakeholders, will celebrate the day with a free breast cancer and general health screening exercise. I am therefore inviting you to join us at the AMA Gardens in Accra Central near Tema Station on the 31st of October 2025, 10 a.m. prompt. Come and have your breast checked as you enjoy free general health screening and good music. Let's give hope to breast cancer patients. Get your pink on just like I have mine right now and join the fight.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
God, Kwamio!
Send your God up boom. If you put it to so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Hello viewers, this is Olivia Eda here. I'm the team lead for Access to Care Nyahuda Foundation, the CSR arm of Nyahu Medical Center. October is here with us again and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as part of the celebration, Metro TV, Original TV and Original FM, in partnership with Nyahu Medical Center, will celebrate the day with free breast cancer screening and general health screening. I'm therefore inviting you, yes you, to join us at the AMA Gardens in Accra Central, Tema Station. Come and have your breast checked as you enjoy free general health screening and good music. Let's give hope to breast cancer patients. Get your pink on and join the fight.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
It's on Super Sports all season long. Pay your subscription today. Dial star 759 hash. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
In the rush of deadlines, in the hum of studio lights, sometimes we forget what matters most.
I share stories every day, but this one carries the weight of every woman that ever fought.
I tell stories every day, but some stories hit closer to home.
My mom beat breast cancer twice. So yeah, this lens, it tells a story too.
Early detection saves life, and silence is no more an option.
To the women who light up us